But what about Kyle Schwarber? All right. So FoxSports.com, the writer there did when they were in, or I guess it was against the Mets. So she spoke to him over the weekend, and Kyle Schwarber is a free agent after this season. I think that's been well documented. I have been on record as saying that I can't imagine this Phillies team going forward without Kyle Schwarber, right? Like Alec Boehm, like players like that. No, like you can move on from guys. You can move on from players even if it hurts. Like, for example, could I envision the Phillies without JT Realmuto? Yes, I could actually. Do I think that's going to happen? Not necessarily. But like the Phillies would be okay without JT Realmuto. They need to sign somebody. But I couldn't picture the Phillies next year and going forward without Kyle Schwarber. Perhaps the problem is he going to outprice what the Phillies are willing to spend for him? If you remember back in spring training, there was some dialogue. There was some contract extension negotiations. And according to all reports that I've seen, it ended with the initial proposal. Phillies proposed what they wanted to, what they put out there, and it was quickly turned down. And that's the last they had the conversation. So what does that tell you? It tells you that they were pretty far apart in what they were willing to commit to at that point, right? So Kyle Schwarber comes out. He has 24 home runs. He's had between him, Aaron Judge, and Shohei Ohtani has had the most home runs over the course of the last couple of years in all of baseball. He's productive again this year. He sees a lot of pitches, the clubhouse leadership, blah, 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 blah. We know. He's 32. You know, like, can Kyle Schwarber continue to produce at this rate over the next 3 or 4 years? I absolutely believe that. It's a matter of how much are the Phillies willing to pay him. Here's Dave Dombrowski. Of course, you don't want to lose a Kyle Schwarber. He's a unique talent, and he's a quality individual. We don't want to lose him, but I think your responsibility as someone that's in my job is to make your club better in other ways. I've lost free agent players in the past that we've gone out and been able to do things. Again, not that you want to lose him, but I don't think it's the end of any window or anything. He goes on. The Philadelphia Phillies were in good shape for years to come. That's one of the responsibilities that you have to try to do, if you can, is to stay in contention despite some players becoming free agents. We have an owner that's very generous with us. We have a hefty payroll in that regard. So even if we lose guys, we normally have the capability to sign somebody else. Let me see some comments on that Dave Dombrowski quote right there. Yeah, that's a guy that is being honest and is saying that we're not going to match the largest offer. If there's a team out there that is going to pay him 4 years and $40 million a year, we're probably not going to re-sign him. If someone's going to give him $180 million, we're probably not going to re-sign him. People agree with those quotes? He's talking about how you don't want to lose any players, but ultimately that's something that you may have to do. And he's right. He's right. The Phillies really haven't make a lot of tough decisions in letting guys go. Aaron Nola would have been a really difficult decision because he was drafted by the team and because they'd been to a World Series and he was a first-round pick and he's probably the second best draft pick or first best draft pick as a starting pitcher that this organization has ever had. So there's equity to that, right? That means something to a lot of teams. But they signed him. They signed him to a long-term contract and gave him a lot of money, and that's proving to probably be the wrong move. I don't think signing Kyle Schwarber to a big money contract is a wrong move. But if Dave Dombrowski says, all right, let me look at this. No, I got holes to fill. I need a back-end bullpen player. I'm paying Aaron Nola $25 million. So we're going to have to let Ranger Suarez go as well. Right? Like, look at this lineup. I think that this lineup is stale, and I would like to see some changes, and I think they agreed with that as well last year. They tried to move some parts, and they brought in Kepler, and that has not worked out. But like ultimately, they may let Kyle Schwarber leave. I mean, that's everything Dave Dombrowski's saying right there. Here's Kyle Schwarber on it. I know from our side that as soon as the season's over, whenever the time is appropriate, some sort of conversation will be had. I got a lot of respect for the Phillies organization and obviously for the players here and the management and things like that. They've done a lot for me. And that's why I don't think that it's just going to be a goodbye, right? There will be some sort of conversation. There'll be some sort of conversation. What the hell does that mean? There'll be some sort of conversation. What are we talking about? Yeah, I hope there's going to be some sort of a conversation. But doesn't it seem like when you read those last lines, they've done a lot for me, and that's why I don't think that it's just going to be a goodbye, right? There'll be some sort of conversation. Boy, it sure seems like that there's a wide divide in what the Phillies were willing to pay him and what Kyle Schwarber is asking for. And really what the market is going to give Kyle Schwarber. That's really what it matters. Maybe the Phillies offered him $30 million a year for 3 years, $90 million. Maybe they'd offer him $100 million for 3 years. And Schwarber's like, 3 years? I won 5 years. Maybe the Phillies are willing to go 4. Maybe there's teams that are willing to go 5. And Schwarber says, you know what? I'd rather stay in Philly for 4 and a little bit more money per year than go 5. Who knows? The market is going to determine whether Kyle Schwarber is going to be back. That did not happen with Aaron Nola. The Phillies decided that they were not going to lose Aaron Nola to Atlanta. They did. They paid top of market money for Aaron Nola. And it doesn't seem like, to me, unless John Middleton gets involved, which he very well could, he did. I believe he did it with Aaron Nola, that Kyle Schwarber could be gone. And right now, if you look at this team, unless you're making other significant moves in the offseason, I don't know how you sell this to a fan base that if you don't win a World Series or at least get back to a World Series, that the fans are going to be feeling all that good about the direction of this team. Details matter, right? The way that they've lost the last 2 years has really sucked. But, we've not felt good the last 2 years with this team. And if you're feeling like that after this year and Schwarber leaves, good luck. Because this dude, there's one thing that you can count on with Kyle Schwarber is his production. Bryce Harper's been injured. I love Bryce. Bryce is one of my favorite all-time athletes in Philadelphia. Love him. Love the dude. He's awesome. His availability is starting to become a problem. The production on this team offensively has been Kyle Schwarber. So DH and no DH, the Phillies, are they going to value him as much as other teams, other veteran teams, guys that feel like, hey, we're right there. We need a veteran guy. We need a guy that's going to come in for 4 years, and maybe by the 4th year, he's not as good as we want him to be. But he could be the missing piece to our team. And if I was running just the Yankees or maybe the Red Sox, would bring him back because they're trying to get Kyle Schwarber is a very attractive piece in free agency. And it just feels like right now the Phillies are going to have to be okay with losing him if the price becomes too much.